Hello. It's day 15 on the journey, and I really believe it truly is day 15. I think I've gotten up to my mistakes. Anyway, thank you for the grace on that. I might be off on numbers still. But today we meet Dr. Martel. Dr. Martel was dubbed the rat lungworm expert simply out of his disgust with seeing rat lungworm cases and not knowing what to do for those patients. And he just said, I just needed to do research. I needed to figure out what we could do to improve outcomes for the people and to try to actually prevent this from happening. And way back when I was in Honolulu, when I prayed for Jesus to go ahead and prepare Hilo for me, he had already prepared. You see, Dr. Martel had been in Europe prior to Eric coming, and he had just gotten home from being out of the country. And I think a week before Eric arrived, he was part of a panel discussing, it was a symposium on rat lungworm disease. And so rat lungworm disease was at the forefront of his thoughts, and he was in Hilo, not out of the country when Eric arrived. And when Eric was admitted to the hospital, Dr. Martel was there. And Eric's test results showed that he did not show any sign of rat lungworm disease in his system. But Dr. Martel said to the team, treat him anyway. And I believe that saved Eric's life, because it would be, I think, 6 weeks, 4 spinal taps later before rat lungworm ever showed signs in his spinal fluid. But Dr. Martel said, Eric, it looks like rat lungworm. It quacks like a duck, and it walks like a duck. It's just testing like a chicken. But he said, you present with symptoms that I've seen before in patients with rat lungworm. And he was convinced that's what it was. I was grateful for the doctors who were still exploring other things and weren't getting tunnel vision, but they were ruling out Lyme disease and other tropical diseases, and they really could only say it's a meningitis of unknown origin. And with that, rat lungworm seemed to be it. Dr. Martel would tell me later, not right then, but he would tell me later, Linda, rat lungworm is like watching an old Western, and there's dynamite strapped to the trestle of the bridge where the train is about to come over. And he said, and I watch that train, and all I can do is watch a train wreck. And I'm sick of watching train wrecks. He did say to Eric, and this was the sense of humor and that I appreciated. Eric first said, when I first got there, Eric said, oh, there's a doctor here, Dr. Martel, you'll like him. He's like Dr. House from the TV show. He said, I think you'll really like him. And I did. And I liked him because he was honest. And I liked him because he was curious and he gave a damn. And we just need people who give a damn. And he was funny. And we needed both his expertise, his curiosity, his scientific mind, and his sense of humor. He said, Eric, I want to tell you what rat lungworm disease is in the most scientific terms. And Eric said, okay. And Dr. Martel says, it sucks. The other thing that Dr. Martel said, and this was early on, this was when Dad was visiting for the week. And Eric's dad saw Eric getting better. He saw him get out of bed and walk. And that was huge. And right before Dad left, that was something he was able to hold with him and take back and say, I saw my son walking through the nurse's station and around and back, and he's going to get better. And that was how my husband was coping, and that's what he was determined, and that's a good thing. But Dr. Martell was there when Eric finished that walk, and Eric was sweating. He was just wringing wet, and his knuckles were white holding onto that walker. But he had walked. And in Dad's mind, he was getting better, and Dr. Martell said, unfortunately, with this disease, you often get better before you get worse. And that sat with me. I think it went over Dad's head, but it hit me. Because I kind of knew that. I had met Graham, and Graham's mom, Kay, had said, we were ready to discharge Graham, and then he went into a coma for months, and then he came out paralyzed for months, and now he's 2.5 years out, and he still has balance issues. And I thought, it does get worse than this? It's already been worse. We're past the worst. We're now on the get better second time. That's all I could do is hold on to that. But you might be in that season. Some of you thinking that it can't get worse. What if it gets worse? Or it's getting better? Or it's not getting better? Or are you with me? All those things when you're in the throes of pain and struggle. But I want to leave you with a couple things of encouragement and hope, because we didn't lose hope. Dr. Martell said, Eric, the best outcomes I've seen are people who are willing to fight hard. The harder you fight, the better the outcome. Can you do that? And Eric said, I can do that. And you can do that. There's a Dan Gable quote, and I love that, partly because Eric had a love and still has a love for wrestling. And Dan Gable was a Olympic medalist and wrestler, and his story is amazing. But Dan Gable says this: gold medals aren't really made of gold. They're made of sweat, determination, and a hard-to-find alloy called guts. And in 2 Timothy 4, chapter 4, verse 7, St. Paul's coming to the end of his life, and he says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. And I encourage you to just fight the good fight and finish the race and keep the faith. And we'll be praying. When I say we, I know there's people that they're messaging me and telling me they're praying for you and for the things that are posted. If you need a prayer, leave a heart emoji. You can leave more or less. You can private message as well, as always. And if you are praying, leave an amen. See you tomorrow.